Welcome to Screen Time with me, KerbRider, show where I talk to someone about their screen time favorites. And on this month's episode, I have Robert Hess, otherwise known as Hessflix, on Instagram and YouTube. How you going, Rob?
I'm going very well, mate. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey man, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. So, as pre-show, I was telling you, I used to do a physical media interview show where I spoke to people about their collections, and I've never had you on the show before. So I want to talk to you about what you do and how you got into collecting because I love the content you put out on going op shopping and stuff. So I mean, my first question, I suppose, is everything that you own, is it all from op shops or do you buy from JB or is it just all secondhand?
That's a great question. I would probably say about 95%, or maybe even more, maybe 97 if we want to be specific, is probably op shop
Yeah,
bought.
right.
Yeah, like I would love to, and I've always got a craving to go and spend big at JB because I'd love to collect more of the newer releases and even
Mm,
with Umbrella as well, like going into that boutique world because there's amazing stuff out there. But,
yeah,
I think I'm kind of like, yeah, not don't have the biggest funds in my wallet right now. And
yeah.
I think op shopping is a really great way to still feel like you're getting in the game and part of the physical media collecting. And there's still a bunch of amazing
Mm,
things you can find. Like, I've got a
absolutely.
bunch of 4Ks that you're just lucky enough to come across. And, and then people end up gifting you things when, once your family and friends
Yep.
crack on that you're getting into it and you get a few that way. And then there's
Yeah,
one or
nice.
two where I've like I so well, I guess eBay's another one where I've paid a bit of a higher price, but I've gone for things like, the whole Star Trek Next Generation series. I really
Oh,
like
okay.
that one. So there's a few in there.
So you don't mind a 4K?
No, I actually only in the last maybe 3 months have got my first 4K player. So
Right. Yep.
overall, I'm pretty new to the whole game, but
Mm,
yeah, I love it. Like, I know maybe it sounds a bit cliche, but as soon as I watched my first movie on there, I think it might have been I tested out a few Star Trek films, but I watched Bridge over the River Kwai in 4K.
mm,
That was it was incredible. Like it really felt like I was looking through a window in my TV into
yeah.
because that's what they say about it, right? It's like realistic
Yeah.
lighting and grain, and it's just got texture, and it was so good to watch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to keeping dipping my toe into the 4K world. I love it.
It's a good world. It took me too long to get into it, to be honest. I've only been collecting 4Ks for a few years now. And every time I saw them in the shop, I was like, I should be buying 4Ks, future-proofing my collection, but I just never did. And so now I've double spent and had to upgrade some Blu-rays to 4K, and yeah, it gets aggravating actually.
Definitely a
Um,
few. I'm gonna have to do the same.
yeah. It's still definitely worth looking at, especially older films. Like they do look great in because they're filmed on film, so they can upscale them almost as much as they want. So yeah, you're going to get your better looking films from the 90s and prior, I think. Um, yeah. So I mean, the main question, I suppose, as well, is what got you into it? What kick started the collection? Because you said you've only been collecting for about a year now.
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, my girlfriend at the time, her uncle had a shelf of 4K releases, and
Oh yeah.
I just was going over there and kept just sort of having a look at them and speaking to him about it. It just sort of led me to get curious about it, and then I
Mm,
probably maybe had one or two reels sort of come up because Instagram's listening to all our conversations these days. So probably
yeah.
had one or two come up. And then I think it sort of started with an impromptu op shopping trip
hmm
where I just maybe picked up one or two. And I think from that moment, I was sort of addicted because,
Yeah.
I guess back in the day, I used to collect Goosebumps books. And that
Right.
was really satisfying because the feeling of just combining, exploring a new area, a different op shop, it kind of feels like a lucky dip. The
Mm.
same kind of feeling you get, I imagine, if you go to the casino and spin um,
100%.
the
100%
lottery
dopamine.
machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
just not knowing what you're gonna get. And yeah, that's after that, I've just and the videos started to do well too, and I've got to
Mm,
admit that also motivated me as well because there was actually seemed to be a lot of people interested to see
yeah.
the finds that I was getting, and that momentum lifted me. And now, mate, I'm 100% addicted. I have to stop myself from from
Oh,
doing.
really? Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah,
your videos are great, and if anyone listening to this hasn't looked at Rob's stuff, like yeah, I love what he does, so that's why I asked him to come on the show because, yeah, you say you're coming on the show to do some practice, but I don't think you need much help along, to be honest, because I think, yeah, you just have this natural confidence when you're on the screen. Because I don't like putting myself on camera. It's a real struggle when I put myself on actual front facing. Um, yeah, so kudos to you, man, for doing it.
thank you, mate. That I really appreciate that. It means a lot because definitely, I mean, even like before recording at home, I'm always getting like this nervous feeling inside, and I feel like it's just about trying to sit in that discomfort and push
Mm.
through it. And everyone, I'm sure, goes through that. It's I'm no different to anyone else, but it's yeah, I think, and once you do it afterwards, like it's great to get to meet you and meet the community, and
Mm.
yeah, it's something I want to keep doing. So I'm very thankful to be here.
It's a great community, and I don't know why I'm a bit of a smart ass. If you haven't listened to my stuff before, but I love your fist pump to camera. Yeah, that's the one. It's great, man. Like you've got a trademark already, and I think that's what put people in. I don't have a trademark. Every time I start something, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to start, how to start. Hey guys, but you have a thing, and it's great. Yeah. Um,
Thanks, mate. Try and bring some good energy, some positive.
yeah, absolutely. So how many do you have? I mean, I can kind of see behind you. Is that your whole pile? Obviously, the listeners can't, but is that everything
Yeah,
you've got?
yeah. This is probably going to make some listeners maybe cringe. I still haven't logged it at all, so I currently have no idea how
Mm,
many I have. I
haven't
can
catalogued it.
only estimate for you, but even so, I still think it's at the point where I'm able to generally remember everything that I have if I'm in an op shop and I come across
Yeah,
a title, but it's starting to get to the point now where I've maybe
yeah.
picked up one or two doubles where
Mm,
I really do need a catalog. I guess I've been putting it off because I need to move houses soon, and once I do, I'll get a proper
uh,
shelf and then I can put them all nicely alphabetical, and then I think it's a good time to categorize them. But if I was gonna give you an estimate, oh, it's a tough one, mate. I
couple of
mean,
hundred.
yeah, I would say so. I would
Yeah.
say so, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, it takes time to build. I mean, look, it's a solid collection, especially doing it for only a year. Yeah, it's yeah, just touch on a point you said before, how addictive it is, because it does become, and like collecting anything, like you said, it becomes an addiction, and yeah, you get that rush of finding it. Like I go up shopping quite a lot as well, and um, I still remember my best find was finding a Splash Blu-ray at a Lifeline, because Blu-rays, like I told you pre-show, are so rare on the Gold Coast, and I found Splash, which is like $150 Blu-ray online and got it for like a buck. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, it was a huge, and I still get my dopamine hit from that. It was like
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Yeah, and even if you're not planning to sell it, just the fact that it
Mm,
feels clever to go and find something like that, like a hidden
yeah.
find that's got
Mm,
real value to some people and it's yours. And
uh,
whichever op shop you go to, you don't know if you're gonna walk in and there's gonna be something like that just sitting on a shelf. You never
yeah.
know.
Pure pot luck, like you said, it's going the pokies, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, not to promote gambling, but yeah,
Gamble responsibly.
yeah.
Uh, um, so do you? Well, I'm just not sure whether I ask you my regular questions about your collecting. That's okay. I might move on then. Actually, I might come up in natural conversation a bit later on. One hint I will give you though is start cataloging them before they gets too much. Because when I first started cataloging mine, I put mine just in a spreadsheet. I don't put it in an app or anything because I was too late to join scanning into an app. So on a spreadsheet, I had about 300 or something at the time. And for the way I keep mine, it took me about 3 days to catalog them, and I don't put in that much information.
That's
So
good.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
the longer you leave it, the more it's until it becomes a bit of a mountain of a task. I think it.
absolutely, yeah, it gets a big job. Um, I could never, if I had to restart now, if I lost my spreadsheet, I would just quit. I think
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. It's too many. So we'll move on to the movies then. So the movies that made you. So, yeah, this is basically any film that you saw as a youngster or even into your teens that made you go, "Holy shit, films are the best thing ever." And I just want to know your four. You probably have more than four, but any four that come off top of your head because just stealing ideas from Letterboxd. Long story short, though. So, yeah, thought I'd throw that out there. What's your first one?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great idea as well because, and reflecting on this myself, I think all of us as movie lovers, a lot of what even yeah, looking back over this for myself, a lot of what I love now, I can see the roots of that
Hmm.
in these movies. And so I think it's definitely worthwhile having a look back. Although this first film is a bit of a niche one, I'm not sure whether you'll know it, but
Okay.
there may be a few listeners who are aware of it. Maybe it's not that niche, but I think it's maybe you could almost call it a cult classic. I've got the Magic Pudding from the year
Oh,
2000. I think it's relatively well known within Australian culture, but overseas, I've got a feeling not many people would
did
be aware of it.
did you post that you found that in one of your
Correct.
videos? Yeah,
I did find that.
because I've never seen the movie. I never knew there was a movie, but I remember that was like my favorite story as a kid, like my favorite
Yeah.
fable. Because isn't that the one where the pudding the or am I thinking the porridge pot where the porridge just takes over the whole town? Is that a different story?
I'm not sure whether that
That's a
happens in
different
the book
story.
because the book it's based on a 1918 book written by Norman Lindsay. I don't know much about
Right.
him, but it's a very sort of whimsical, strange book that basically follows an old man, a koala, a
Ah,
penguin, and a yeah, I think that's the characters off the top of my head, and basically they come across a magic pudding that's essentially endless. Well, now I'm getting more into the movie plot, and then there's a arc where the koala's looking for his missing parents, and about them, it's about them
right.
trying to defend the pudding from the evil forces that want to eat it. So it's a bit strange.
That is strange. That's it's got. I'm just looking it up as you're talking about it because I've never seen it. This is definitely different to the book I'm thinking of. Sam Neill, Hugo Weaving, Jeffrey Rush,
Yes,
John Cleese, John
huge,
Laws is in it. Jack
huge,
Thompson.
huge cast. Like
Yeah, Tony
the
Collette.
Yeah, Tony Collette's singing in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and Sam Neill and Hugo Weaving, and of course, people know John Cleese.
Mm.
It's fairly, it's a bit depressing that I was looking it up last night. I think it had a $12 million budget for a
Oh,
1.1 million return, so it
really?
wasn't
That's a shame.
immensely, yeah, successful at the box office. Well, I think if you do get a chance to watch it, which I highly recommend, I'll get into a minute why it's important to me as a childhood
Mm.
film, but you can just there's even stuff in there that's indecipherable to an Australian maybe it might just be a poor sound mix on the DVD I have, but I can't this would have boggled the minds of any international child that watched this. You would have no idea what is going on, let alone a
Yeah.
Australian kid, because you've essentially got this sort of strange looking brown, not very appealing pudding running around with like these extremely skinny appendages for legs and arms, and they're all singing and dancing and set in like the early 20th century. It's a with all these
Yeah.
animals as well. It's a bit
It's
of a
quite
strange.
biz I'm just yeah, looking at the images, it's very looks so much like a 90s or 80s Disney animation. Like it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out. This is the first one anyone's mentioned that I haven't seen actually.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
other ones will
interesting.
definitely be more. I think you'll definitely know them. But this one, I thought, well, for me, I watched it recently, and I think even if you look it up on social media like Letterboxd, it's one of those ones that almost every kid, I feel like in my generation at least, being born in 1999, almost everyone had a copy of this on VHS, which is a whole other
Yeah,
avenue of physical media, and I definitely had it on VHS, and it would have been just played into the ground on repeat.
yeah.
And I think it's a good to touch on as well. As a child, it I think the way that you process sensory information and movies overall, it's so much more intense.
Mm.
And I just remember it as a
Yeah.
kid, like the emotion in this film. Like there's a scene where the koala, you see why, like how he lost his mom, and I remember my sister
Right.
crying watching it. And then there's even like Jack Thompson's character who's like this evil wombat,
Yeah.
sets up like this essentially like it's very dark, like a forced labor camp for
Oh wow.
Australian animals who are like trying to find him food underground, and then he decides he's going to start cannibalizing the animals because he's so hungry, and that's why he's trying to get
Wow.
this pudding that essentially is endless. So it's
It sounds like I want to watch it, to be honest. You're selling it to me. Because it sounds like a Bug's Life there too, like a bit of fascism thrown in. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's funny as well to me. Like, yeah,
Mm.
it's very uniquely Australian, and the backdrops as well with the animation are sort of based on, old Australian paintings like Eugene von Gerard-ish
Mm.
era of yeah, those old sort of, yeah, late, even like 19th century sort of capturing of the Australian landscape. So yeah, and it stays pretty true to the book
Oh yeah.
as well, like the character designs of the book, and because the book in 1918 had a bunch of yeah, very sort of disturbing images, well, illustrations as well, but also
Oh
captured
really?
imagination. So I think, yeah, I just thought it was important to put that here as a
Mm.
bridge between the VHS into sort of DVD world, because
Yeah.
I think if you ask a lot of Aussie adults now, they'll remember having a copy of this one, and it is a good encapsulation of
Yeah.
how a movie can capture a kid's imagination and stay in your head years later, where people will say, I remember that. That was
Ab
weird.
Absolutely. That's like the perfect type of film for exactly what this show's about. Absolutely perfect. I do need to ask though, when you rewatched it as an adult, how does it hold up all right still? You still have the nostalgia?
That's a great question. I definitely had the nostalgia. I do. Yeah, I think John Cleese is a bit of a mixed bag for me. I haven't watched a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff he's known for, and he's perhaps gets a little bit tiresome at times. But overall, though, I enjoyed it. A lot of it probably for the nostalgia factor, but also just for how strange it is. I feel like there's no way that anything like this will ever be made again, especially
Yep.
with the cast.
Yeah. That's a great cast. I want to
Yeah.
watch it because I love a good cast. So I'll watch a movie if I think the cast is great,
Yeah.
regardless of the film. So
It's a
yeah.
musical as well. I think I forgot to.
Right. It's got everything going on.
Yeah.
It's only 80 minutes long too, so it must
Yeah.
pack a lot into that 80 minutes.
Yeah. Almost to its detriment if you look at it, I guess, critically. But it's a kids' movie. It's a bit of fun, and
Mm,
I would definitely still recommend. I think even if you it's maybe doesn't hold up under the microscope, it's still you're gonna have a great entertaining time and a few laughs.
mm.
I definitely recommend.
Um, I want to touch on, and this is kind of an aside, not talk about your next movie yet, but you were born in one of the greatest years of cinema ever. Have you watched much from 99?
Correct. Now that is a good question. Off the top of my head, I know Fight Club, Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually, if you'll excuse me, now this is a
Yeah,
problem where
go for it.
I feel like I'm over relying on Letterboxd to tell me what I've actually seen in a year, which is maybe a bad thing. But yeah, you've got your classics like Toy Story 2 being John Malkovich, Iron Giant, Eyes Wide Shut, which is
Mm.
especially relevant these days. Phantom Menace, I'm getting into some ones that are a bit more perhaps my sort of taste. 10 Things I Hate About You,
Yep.
Galaxy Quest, Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Shout out to that movie. That's my favorite. But yeah, I actually maybe
No,
haven't seen as many movies from that year as perhaps I should have. I'm not sure if you've got some favorites that come to mind for you. I guess like
from
Magnolia,
99.
Blair Witch Project. I still haven't seen those. Girl Interrupted,
I
Sixth
could
Sense.
recommend a lot to you. Angelina won an Oscar for Girl Interrupted.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a big blind spot of mine.
I could, yeah, there's lots. Just I'm just looking at my collection of what I've got in '99, and yeah, I could just. It was an epic year for film. And we got the Green Mile. I'm not sure if you've seen the
Yeah,
Green
no,
Mile.
I've
Yep.
been meaning to watch that for a while. And I think statistically as well, the 90s are my highest rated
Ah,
decade
yeah.
cinema.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's. I mean, I think they're my. Actually, no. I think the '40s and the '70s are mine on Letterboxd.
I've
But
just
when
got to
you,
explore more and watch more because I think, yeah, there's some.
yeah, man, it's only been the last couple of years where I started diving into films like what I consider classics, pre 1980, I suppose. And I just made me fall in love with movies all over again. Like, there's just, yeah.
Yeah,
We could make a whole 5 hour podcast about me recommending stuff to you that you'll never get to watch, I suppose. But
we'll
yeah,
get there one day, mate. That's the
yeah, yeah,
dream.
yeah. You've got plenty of time on your side. So yeah,
Hope
it's,
so. Fingers crossed.
yeah, you'll be all right. What's the second one?
Yes, now the second film. Now, perhaps this is maybe a bit of a basic one, but I couldn't really leave it off the list in terms of films that influenced me as a child. It's Toy Story, the
Yeah.
classic from I think it's 95, I believe.
Think it is 95. Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, but everyone knows this as a cult, well, not a cult classic, a classic for a
Hmm.
reason. As a
Yeah.
kid, I was just completely obsessed with Buzz Lightyear, and I think looking
Mm.
back as well, it definitely planted the seeds of my love for science fiction.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, as an introduction, as a space ranger kind of
Yeah.
dude, and I think as well, an interesting point I was just thinking of last night. I actually think he's a really good, like, positive male role model for kids. I think Buzz Lightyear because, and I don't know. I was trying
It's
to
a really
think.
great point. It's a great point.
Yeah, like I appreciate it. I was trying to think. Well, what are some examples in more recent animation that have the same impact? I'm not sure there's an equivalent. I'm not sure if you've got any thoughts on that.
Off the top of my head, no. I mean, I'm shocking with coming up with stuff off the top of my head, to be honest, but
Yeah,
nothing springs to mind
you know,
at all. But Buzz is a great, oh, because I'd never thought about that either. And when the more I think about, because I mean, I was an adult when Toy Story came out, and I loved it, like, because it changed the face of animation as well. Like, it actually
yeah,
changed how films were made. Um, And I mean, I don't know if you're sure you've gone back and watched Toy Story lately, but the animation, as great as it was at the time, still doesn't. I mean, it's obviously gotten better, but holy shit, Toy Story is a great choice. I was 18 when that came out, so and
yeah.
still loved it. Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
go and see it in cinemas?
No, 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 no. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have gone. I'll go and watch a kids' movie by myself now, absolutely. But no, as an 18-year-old, my friends at the time wouldn't have wanted to go see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think yeah, as well touching back on that, like the film itself is really good about, embracing differences, but not in a way where it's on the nose and it's kind of shoving it down your throat. I think it
Mm,
encourages like a kid to come to that conclusion by themselves by understanding the characters and the story
yeah.
and having your expectations sort of challenged, like not everything's going to go to plan, but through
Yep.
sort of building a community and teamwork and working
Yeah,
together,
absolutely.
you can get through something
Yep.
um like that.
Yeah.
And as well, just the good lesson as a kid too, not to go and start like setting your toys on fire or ripping their arms off.
Yeah. Pixar I think they failed maybe once. I mean, I think every Pixar film is at least worth checking out to good to great, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Toy Story would be your favorite Pixar? Just on that?
Definitely, I think because I just can't go past like I was just completely obsessed with Buzz Lightyear and even
Mm.
looking back too, like I watched the animated Buzz Lightyear Star Command film as well, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure if that it might be Pixar as well, but even like I ended up loving like Star Trek in my teenage years, and it really laid the groundwork for that, I think, and even
Yeah.
just and I'm not sure if you've got any thoughts on Toy Story 4 or 5, but I think it's and shout out if you don't mind a friend of mine online radio Mike was talking about this and I thought he summed it up
Mm.
well, like the new movie that looks like it's going to be covering oh, the new toy is an
An iPad.
iPad.
Mm.
Like if you look back on this film, it's already had that message. Like Buzz is the new toy, the new flashy
Yes.
thing.
Yep.
It sort of just seems like it's repetitive. So it seems like they're retreading over that ground. And
Yeah, I think that is a really good point, but I trust the process with Pixar because it is you're 100% right, it is a new toy. But I think they'll really focus on the screen time and how it takes away from and how it deteriorates or kids don't grow up to be the way they should because of these things. I I trust Pixar to do it right because they just think so deeply about everything that they make. Yeah, I mean, I'm keen to see it. I'll probably go watch Toy Story 5
I'll
in the
definitely see
cinema.
it as well. I say that, but
Yeah.
I'll be there day one. I'll be
Yeah.
watching it.
Did you like 4? Because number 3 is my favorite. I think Toy Story 3 is like a spectacular movie.
I
Um, yeah, and
Yeah. In
did you
terms
hear
of
10? Oh, sorry. I'll you say first.
in terms of four, I watched it overseas at the time, so I'm already, on a
Hmm.
high traveling, and I think it's not bad, but it definitely feels like a unnecessary epilogue because I fully agree with you. I think number three is like the perfect full stop
Yep.
on everything. And also they dumbed down my boy Buzz Lightyear, got degraded. Like I think he had his reset button pressed or something. And as a
Mm.
Buzz Lightyear like Stan Team Buzz, I was very disappointed. So
They've
I sort of
almost
yeah,
wrote him out of the movie.
yeah, I sit in a bit of a sort of middle ground with it. I don't hate it, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm the
prefer if it
same.
was just the original trilogy.
There's one scene in it in particular that maybe, and ever since Toy Story 4, I've been harping on as to anyone who will listen or any time I get the chance is that I want to see Pixar make a horror film, an animated horror film, because there's a scene in that second-hand store where those creepy dolls are pushing the pram and looking back over their head, and it's creepy as hell. And there's some other horror elements in some Pixar films that you might not pick up because they're kind of blink and you'll miss them, but Pixar making a horror film would be amazing. It would
That's
make
such a good
bank.
idea. You should go and sell that pitch to them because I'm there. I reckon half the world would be like. I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah, I think they'd nail it.
If you
Yeah,
don't mind,
yeah.
if you don't
Sorry.
mind me saying as well, it just brought to mind a movie that I was almost going to put on on this list, but I hadn't watched it recently enough. Do you know that film called Nine? I think it's
Yeah, I watched that for the first time a couple of years ago, actually. I don't remember. I've got a bad memory, but I don't remember enjoying it a ton.
yeah, okay.
I
Because
don't
I
think I
think
didn't. I don't think I'd hated it, but I don't think I fell over for it.
it's in that if I pictured like a Pixar horror film, I would
Yeah.
that's something like I could see. And at the time watching it I loved it, but yeah, I haven't seen it as an adult. I've probably watched it 10 or 15 years ago, so not sure how it
Yeah.
would hold up.
I
What's your word on it, mate?
mean, I was probably not paying enough attention at the time as well because I tend to do that. If something's not grabbing me, I'll just get my phone. I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's on. And I don't know. I try and switch between, but I'm horrible at it sometimes. I don't know about you when you're watching something, whether the phone gets in the way.
Oh, I try and be strict with it, mate. I've got a strict
Mm,
policy of, well, I guess with my housemate, previous housemate, I'd be like, mate, get off your phone, stop it. If
yeah.
someone's coming over and they're on the phone, mate, I'm giving them the dirty looks to the side. But
Good, man.
I
Good.
think it's. I say that, but then sometimes I'm probably doing it myself too. I don't like to admit
Yeah.
it. I try and avoid it. I feel like
Mm,
got to put the phone out of the room because otherwise I do the same for sure. You
yeah.
check something, you pause it, it takes you out. Like it's hard not to, especially when you're at home and you know what it's like with
Abs
with
yeah. Yeah, that's I kind of blame my phone, like thinking about it now, for me not watching enough because I've got a big Asian cinema collection. And I don't watch enough of them because even though when I watch whatever I watch, I'll have subtitles on, but I can still hear if I'm on my
yeah,
phone. But with
yeah.
those films, I have to be like 100% focused on it because otherwise, yeah, it just takes you out and you have to rewind or whatnot all the time. Gets really annoying. I want to touch on your sci-fi love. You're a Trekkie.
Yes.
Is it just Trekkie or any other type of sci-fi? What would be your favorite sci-fi?
Well,
Apart.
again, your basic call me basic, but I'm happy to accept the label. You've got, you're Interstellar.
Yep.
I guess definitely Star Trek, probably, June as well. I
Mm,
love. And then because I was looking through last night science fiction overall, and I think so many movies have science fiction elements to them as well when they're not
yeah.
necessarily a dedicated science fiction film. But
Hmm.
even like, the MCU or movies like,
Yeah. Well,
like,
Jurassic Park could almost be considered
yeah,
sci-fi, but I call Jurassic Park a horror film more than a
yeah,
sci-fi.
yeah. What about yourself? Are you a sci-fi
Yeah, I
fan?
love sci-fi. Yeah, I do. I'm a big sci-fi. I wouldn't say a nut, but I love it. I'm a Star Wars person more than a
Oh yeah, of
Trekkie, but
course.
yeah, I mean, I see. In saying that, I've just broken my own rule because I don't think Star Wars is a sci-fi because it's so fictional. It's more fantasy than sci-fi. Like
I
it's,
agree. Fantasy
it's
adventure.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I like Interstellar definitely. Arrival, I love Arrival.
Oh yes, that's
This
a great film.
the June films for starters. Like I remember when I first watched June one, the Denis Villeneuve one. I kind of had tears just from how not the story, just from how it looked and how it made me feel. Like the sound, the picture, it was just blew me away. It gave me goosebumps. Like it just rocked my world. June. I think it's an incredible film.
Yeah, and I only just recently revisited it, and it just like gets
Mm.
better, and the movies link together so well.
Yes, yeah.
And it even becomes more relevant. Like once like I was watching the June Prophecy series as well, and you learn about the background to that world where how they've had the battle against artificial intelligence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but before, I think it's like 1,000 years before the events of June Part 1 and 2, they had the
Really?
thinking machine. So it really, and the intersection of like sort of spirituality versus, like the Harkonnens that are there trying to sort of mine the world and
Mm.
Arrakis. Yeah, I
It's
think
all
it's brilliant.
it's all relevant stuff, isn't it? There was just
Yeah.
something. Do you have Apple TV?
On and off. I actually now with the collection behind me, I sort of
Mm.
try and avoid actually subscribing to these services unless I'm reviewing a new release. I wish I had more time to
Yeah.
watch everything that was coming out or a lot of the classics on there, but I just don't, and the collection kind of gives me an excuse not to. But please, if
Yeah.
you've got a
I,
suggestion, I would love
I,
to hear.
yeah, I just think Apple make the greatest sci-fi series ever. Like there's a show on there called Foundation. Um, it's it's remarkable. It's easily the best. Because my dad was a Trekkie and a sci-fi guy, so I kind of got in because of that. But Foundation is based on the Isaac Asimov books from back in the. He wrote these over 40 or 50 years of his life. Um, it's a really complicated story. The timelines go back and forth, so it's hard to keep up with. But the production values, that it's just fucking phenomenal. Like
Mhm.
it's yeah, it's exceptional work. If you ever get it back, I think these 3 seasons, and I think another one's coming. So be worth binging over a month because yeah, if you're a sci-fi guy, you would love it.
What's the broad premise?
The broad premise is that shit, man. Okay, the broad premise. There are the planets or the galaxies led by a group called the Empire, and there's brother Dawn, brother Day, and brother Night, but they're all the same person at different stages of their life. So they're clones from an original guy. And there's a guy on another planet called Harry Seldon, which is Jared Harris. He plays this psycho mathematician or something. And he has this prediction, and that in so many hundred years that Empire will fall, and they hate him. So they like banish him from the planet from there because he was employed by them, and they set up this other place called Foundation on another planet to try and, I guess, restart for when it does fall. And now, as it goes through the time, like they transport like 500, 600 years through the future, as season three is like 500 years later or something, with the same people, because I can't tell a short story. Um, but it's just, uh, I had a train of thought and I completely lost it.
That's all right. I mean, just even the fact that you're saying in a sentence that they travel like 500 years in the future, I love those kind of
Mm,
science fiction ideas and stuff like that. It just
yeah.
sounds definitely like it would be right up my alley. And even with Apple TV too, I guess you'd probably consider Severance to be science fiction as well. I think
Um, yeah,
it's
that's a great question. Kind of.
it's
Kind
got the
of.
concept. I mean, it's maybe more of a drama, but it or mystery,
Mm,
but that concept
the
itself of
technology in it, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Severance is great.
thought that was great.
Yeah, yeah, Severance is good. I mean, I could go. I think Apple TV is the best streaming service for quality. Um, full stop. Anyway, um, film number three.
Yes, let's get into it. It's funny we were talking about science fiction because I actually do have the
Nice.
2009 Star Trek reboot kind of links
Oh,
up
yeah,
very
yeah.
nicely with
That's a
our
that's
discussion.
a great choice though, because that's a really really good film.
Yeah, yeah, and I understand as well. Like, I think there's a lot of like potentially fans at the time who were disappointed in the direction that that film went, and I can understand that because I've got to say myself, I'm not a big fan at all of the new Star Trek shows and kind of
Yeah, okay.
universe that they've built out. I mean, the like. Not to get too much into the specifics, but the last season of Picard was okay, but the rest of it, they've sort of cheapened. I think the reason why this 2009 film works so well is that it is a cinematic event film in a way. It's got
Yep.
such a sense of scale and amazing score, one of the best of all time, in my opinion, by Michael Giacchino. I think that's how you say his
Yeah.
name.
Yep.
Yeah, and
He's one of
but
my favorite composers, actually. I love Michael.
yeah,
He's great.
incredible
Mm.
composer. He's great. But yeah, I just think that they've kind of cheapened it and sort of tried to replicate that style across TV shows where it just doesn't work on the small screen, even though we're all
Yeah.
streaming stuff. With smaller budgets, I guess it doesn't work. But this film, I think I've mainly got it in here in terms of how it inspired me as a kid because yeah, it's one of those movies again with science fiction that real. I mean, again, it starts to stray a bit more into Star Wars territory, but
Mm.
in terms of space and sort of the scale of it all, I think the movie's really good at that. And I had a really good memory with this one of on my, I think it would have been my 11th birthday. My dad took me to a local cinema here in Melbourne called the Astor, which is
Oh,
a
yeah.
yeah, like a Art Deco retro cinema that was kind of our local one.
Mm.
And Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was playing beforehand, which is another
Did
movie
I
I
hear
want.
you say that was overrated on your last video?
Yes, yes, yes. That
I
is a
want to
hot
have
take
words
of
about
mine. Hot take of mine. I loved
that.
it when I watched it as a kid, but on
Mm.
rewatch, I don't know why. Like, I don't think it's bad, but I just
Mm.
can't. It doesn't give me emotional catharsis that I feel like something like Fallout is an
Yeah.
amazing Mission Impossible movie, and that really hits me in with emotion. But it might have suffered because
Yeah.
I did a whole watch through of the entire franchise, and it's kind of in the middle where you're starting to get a bit tired going through all of them. So it might be due
Oh,
for a revisit.
I'm kind of on your side. I don't think it's because I know a lot of people who think it is the best, but I'm a I'm a Rogue Nation. I think Rogue Nation's phenomenal. Yeah, I think it's the best one in the series, but they're pretty hard to rank. I have ranking on my letterbox actually of the Mission
Yeah,
Impossibles.
I've done a
Yeah.
video on it as well.
Have you?
It's not easy, but yeah, I think yeah, well that and I guess I've just got such a good association with this film because, there was a double feature night and it was my birthday.
Ah.
I was a young kid. I was like, "Oh, Dad, can we please stay for the next movie?"
Ah.
Like, "Yeah, okay, son, we can." And and yeah, I just fell in love with it. I'd watched a little bit of the original series beforehand, just the
Hmm.
one or two episodes with the old man, and then
Yep.
this was sort of the stepping stone towards other films like we talked about before, Interstellar, but also like some other ones I think we didn't mention, like Danny Boyle's Sunshine.
Yeah,
Became a
Sunshine's great.
fan. The rest of the entire Star Trek franchise, and it converted me into a Star Trek fan. That single film,
Yep.
which I think is worth touching on. And if I was going to try and introduce anyone else to Star Trek as a franchise, I'd probably show them this movie to start them off, really.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good place to start for modern audiences for sure. I
Yeah.
remember I grew up watching Next Generation with my dad.
Yeah.
I didn't see the original, and I love Next Gen. Um,
Fan.
and yeah, I have all the Star Trek movies on 4K, and I still need to watch. I think I've seen the first four, as in with the original cast, first four. So I still need to make my way through them actually.
I've got a few on 4K as well. I've got Generations, First Contact, and I think maybe Wrath of Khan as well, and The
Mm,
Voyage Home all on 4K because those are the kind of movies as well that are just beautiful on nice grainy film,
yes.
old
Mm,
science fiction from the 80s, 90s, like we were talking about before, that really,
yeah.
and like even it gets into the nerdy nitty gritty, but even like the 1990s Paramount Sunset logo that they have,
Yeah.
that is like one of my favorite movie studio logos. It just looks so nice with the
Yeah,
sunset.
that's
And
cool. I
even
like
that on
that.
4K alone, I'm so happy to have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. We all do have our favorite opening logos, don't we? But
You
I
could do a
think
whole other episode on that. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely you could. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can't think of mine right now, but I definitely would have one.
when they
Definitely would have
customize
one.
them as well for the movie. I love it.
Yeah. Actually love what Spielberg was doing with the Indiana Jones movies because every movie opens with like a take on the Paramount Mountain. Um,
I've kind of forgotten that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know The Last Crusade opens up as like a gopher in a hole, like it's his mountain, his little
Oh,
mound of dirt, and yeah, they do it on
true.
in Temple of Doom. What is it? It's something else. Anyway, I think yeah, he does it in all those. It's pretty clever. I love watching, and he's kind of carried on and does it a little bit with his DreamWorks logo
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
in Shark Tale, where they throw the
Mm,
line off the moon and I think
yes.
shrimp eating it in in the ocean. Yeah, stuff like that. I
It's
love.
clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
How keen are you for Hail Mary later this year?
Well, I'm actually that's a great question. I'm actually feeling a bit skeptical with that film
Oh,
because the trailers, I believe, give away a huge plot point or plot
yes.
twist.
Apparently they do. Yeah, apparently I've heard that, but I don't watch trailers, so I just leave it.
Yeah, I think probably that's a good thing. I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd for trailers. I get really
Mm.
excited watching them in cinemas, but it's definitely
Ah,
caused me to have some much more negative experiences with especially recent films like
that's why I don't
Companion
watch them.
or Novocaine.
Yeah,
They were ruined. Even
yeah,
Anaconda, like all the
yeah,
best jokes were in the trailer, and you go there
yeah,
expecting more, and there isn't anything. But if
mate.
I went in blind, I would have gone, "Oh yeah, that was a bit of fun." But
I'm
I'd
gonna
already
give you.
seen the trailer 10 times.
I'm gonna give you huge recommenders to just not watch trailer because I watched Anaconda a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago at home, and I was just dying laughing because I didn't watch the trailers.
Yeah,
And I know the bit you're probably talking about is Jack Black with the pig on his back.
yeah.
I was fucking
Good.
rolling, man. It's great.
Oh,
And but if I had seen that, I'd be like, oh, okay, I've seen
yeah.
this.
I've seen it like 5 times, but
Yeah.
I've got to say, that I almost, it's like a bad addiction I can't shake because the
Mm.
hype of a trailer, that's
Yeah.
part of the reason why I love cinema. And even like watching like the 2009 Star Trek trailers, like just that building sense of excitement is a like for me I'm locked in and I like that's when I'm the most sort of find the most enjoyment in going to the cinema is because I've seen a trailer, I'm excited
Really?
for it. Yeah,
I
I love
I
it.
was at the cinema yesterday. I went and watched Send Help, and Ready or Not 2 is like one of my most anticipated movies this year. And because I can watch a trailer because I have a shitty memory and I'll forget it if I get around to the movie. I watch the trailer for Whistle and I'm like, this looks all right. Forgotten it already pretty much, but I just know it looks all right. Ready or Not 2 came on, shut my eyes, put my headphones back in, couldn't hear or see shit because I don't want it to be ruined. I
Yeah,
already know too much about it that I want to know. So, um, I have this little. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's an old man take. Is that trailers build expectation, and an expectation only ruins a movie because you can go in with low expectations and God, this movie's way better than I thought it was going to be because people shat on it. But then you go in, this movie's supposed to be great. And the movie that changed my mind was because I'm a Star Wars nut and I love I love the first two sequel in the trilogy. Watched the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker, and which is the ninth one, and I fucking hated the movie so much. The trailer, I still think it's the best trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But god damn, that movie sucked, and I'm like, that just gave me so much expectation. It's probably why I didn't like the movie as much, but it is bad. But I just that was kind of the nail in the coffin for me to go, I'm not watching these anymore. And that was, yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
long ago that was now.
I mean, I don't disagree at all. I think that's generally very true. Like, often they do set up a sense of expectation that is hard to meet. And yeah, I guess trying to, as somebody who I'm sure you're the same as, who wants to get to a lot of as many kind of new releases as you can,
Mm,
or a lot of the new releases, yeah, definitely it leads to you probably enjoying the films less. But
yeah,
devil's advocate argument, if you get a film where the trailer gets you hyped and you enjoy the movie and your expectations are
yeah,
met, that is genuinely like one of the best feelings in life.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But I don't know how rare that would be though, that you see a
yeah.
trailer and go, this can't wait, and then it's still great. Because they
Well, I
do give
guess,
too much away.
yeah, a good example of a good marketing campaign I thought recently, even though I didn't think the movie was the best masterpiece ever, but Predator Badlands,
Oh yeah.
I was getting really pumped up for that film, and
Mm,
I still thought it was good. I guess for me with that movie, like there's little things where maybe they sort of Guardians of the Galaxy-ified it, um, to
right.
yeah, to an extent. But
Hmm,
overall,
interesting.
I guess my overall excitement for a Predator film in cinemas was met. And I
Mm.
guess as well the fact that I had box office success, it still kind of felt like an event. So yeah, but I think I'm a unique case in that and as a video editor myself too, I think I love trailers
Ah,
for that as well.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a challenge being a trailer editor. I'll have to
Yeah.
ask you about what you do a bit more at one time.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
sounds interesting though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I had a, I was going to ask you, because I'm loving what Dan Trachtenberg is doing with this Predator franchise at the moment. Did you like Killer of Killers? Because that movie,
Yeah.
it's great, right?
I did. I really, really enjoyed it. My only knock on it was that it almost started to get a little bit too ridiculous for me in like the last story where, they're running around on the outside of, Spitfire jets like mid-flight, and
Yeah,
people are
yeah,
surviving, getting their arms cut off and things like that. But
yeah.
at the same time, I'm still a big fan of yeah, what is it, Trachtenberg or Trachtenberg? I have no idea.
Trachtenberg. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it's Trachtenberg.
yeah, I think I've
Yeah.
heard that too.
He used to
Um,
be a podcaster, mate,
oh, really?
apparently. Yeah, because I know I listened to a guy who he was one of his inspirations because he like another podcast I listened to was talking about it. He said, I used to follow Dan Trachtenberg when he was doing YouTube videos on podcasts or whatnot, and now to see him doing this, like I'm on board with everything he does. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, that's so yeah, it comes out like a few people are breaking out of the influencer stuff. I mean, Stuckman had a movie last year
Yes.
and what's his face? Markiplier. And
Yeah.
apparently his movie's
That,
pretty good.
yeah, I heard that was meant to be good.
Yeah.
And even Kane Parsons with the Backrooms later this year. I don't know if you've been
Ah,
following that film, but he did all these YouTube shorts about this sort of liminal spaces, and that
okay.
in itself is got picked up by A24. Um,
Wow.
yeah, like there's definitely, I think it's something that's becoming a bit more frequent, and often the movies are
It's
fairly good. I didn't get to see. I really wish I got to see Shelby Oaks. I haven't had a chance to, but.
no, I haven't. The Blu-ray comes out pretty soon, I
Oh,
think. Maybe
nice.
next
Yeah,
month.
I'm glad that's getting a physical media release.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming from Universal, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had something else to ask you there
We
too,
were
and I just
talking
can't
about
remember.
the Trachtenberg Predator films. I don't know if it was on that line of thought or.
I don't think it was, but it's okay. It might come back to me or it might not. It's just, sorry, man. That's just how I roll. Anyone listening is probably used to it. That's just, yeah. I dribble and I'll scramble until I can figure it out what the hell I'm going to say, and I can't. So anyway, it's all good.
It's genuine.
Uh,
We love that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No edits either. It's just all goes to air. So, we're moving to number four, and if it comes to my head, I might jump in. But yeah,
Definitely. feel free to cut me off. So again, it's a bit of a basic pick again, some people might say, but you know, the I guess this was meant to be movies that got me into cinema overall and inspired me. And
Hmm.
you know, I think as a kid, often it is movies that everyone's talking about that are event films. So I've actually got the Avengers, the first one from
Hmm.
2012.
Cool. It's a great choice.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the main reason that I always remember my experience watching this film was that I remember sitting once again in that same theater, the Astor Theater, taken along by my dad once again, and he, you know, had was a bit of a comic book reader, and you'd
Hmm.
hear him sort of say, "Oh, it's got, you know, this character," and you'd read the comics a little bit, and I just remember there's that one scene in the film where it's, you know, people and myself included get frustrated with sort of Marvel humor at times, at least I do.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
perhaps one of those now where, but I think it's a very
It
simple
holds
joke.
up.
Yeah, and this joke in particular, I think it's when they're in the that sort of airship and one of the like the soldiers is playing, I think he's playing like Space
Oh,
Invaders.
Gallagher.
Yeah,
The man's
on
playing Gallagher. I think you didn't notice.
yeah. It's so, and I just remember the entire theater laughing
Yeah.
and just that communal experience of everyone, you know, enjoying a joke together and
Yep.
just sitting there as I would have been, yeah, 13 years old at the time, you know, looking around and going, yeah, this is what it's all about, you know, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like that was such a good memory. And I think as
That's
well,
excellent.
like it's I interestingly, I actually jumped off the MCU for
Hmm.
while it had its biggest period. I wasn't
Oh,
watching
wow.
Infinity War Endgame when it came out, but
Ah,
I'd fallen into the
you
trap
jumped
of,
off early.
yeah, people saying, "Oh, it's Marvel," you know, like that's not real cinema. But I jumped back on
Ah,
during COVID, and now I go and see every new Marvel release, and I love it. And
okay.
I think there's something to be said in a positive way about how their event cinema, and I do wish other films could capture that, and perhaps the MCU's been done that to the detriment of original stories. But I've had a lot
Yeah.
of good memories and a lot of times where it's, you know, gets you in the cinema with your friends watching something, excited to see it.
Yeah, hard to argue any of that. That's they it's a great. I mean, I watched the first Avengers in cinema because I got right into the MCU because I Iron Man blew my socks off. And again, I was I'm aging myself, but I was 30, I think, when Iron Man came out, 2007. Yeah, I would have been hitting around 30. My kids were just born and whatnot, so I wasn't going to the cinemas, but I went to the cinemas with my dad to watch the first Avengers film because of that culmination of the end of phase one. And yeah, it was, and I actually rewatched it last year sometime, and it's still great. The first Avengers movie is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it was even in 3D actually when we saw it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it just feels, at least my memory of it, and I've got a copy. It was one of actually the first Blu-rays I picked up. I still
yep.
haven't properly watched it in its entirety, but it's it just felt like it had a sense of scale again, even with like the Hulk transformations feel powerful, or you
Yeah.
know, the Mark Ruffalo "I'm always angry" line, and he turns around and like
Yes.
turns into the Hulk and smashes that
Yeah.
alien thing, or even with, you know, Tony Stark thinking that he's about to die at the end. Like
Yeah.
all of it just, yeah, like it's got a real oomph to
Yep.
it that I think perhaps the later movies don't have. Like the stakes feel real to me in this film.
The I think again, this is another theory, and I've discussed this with other people that because I'm completely off the MCU, I could give two shits about Doomsday. I just don't care. I think casting Downey Jr. is stupid. People have come out with theories to say he was always Doctor Doom if you go back and look, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not that much of a comic book nerd. Um, but I think what drove me away, and I think other people might be the same, is that when they just touching on because she said something about the stakes aren't as high. I think because they introduced the multiverse, you
Yeah.
just know with a multiverse that they can reverse or re-engineer something because it's the multiverse, that's their plot device to get them out of anything they've dug any hole they've dug themselves into.
Yeah.
I think Shang-Chi was probably, I did really like Thunderbolts, by the way, but I think Shang-Chi was like the last great MCU movie for me.
It's interesting because I actually kind of dislike that movie
Didn't like
because,
Shang-Chi.
yeah, I wish I could have, but I
Yeah,
think,
wow.
well, it just recently came out after Nobody with Bob Odenkirk,
Yep.
and the bus fight scene in Shang-Chi, which
Were they at
everyone
the same
loved.
time, were they?
Yeah, it was right
I didn't
after
know that.
Nobody, and Nobody for me has like the greatest bus fight
That
scene
is,
choreography,
yeah.
incredible. And so then I was sitting there watching
Huh.
Shang-Chi like, oh man, like this isn't
Another
going
bus fight.
like it should. And I've got to say the no shade to Aquafina because she's in some other
Mhm.
movies, but her that Marvel humor with her and even with Trevor as well, who I kind of like in Iron Man 3.
Yes,
It,
I do too.
yeah, I like him, but it just
Yeah.
didn't. And the ending, like the CGI, just sort of polygons smashing into each other. I want to like that movie, and I think I should. I've actually got it on 4K because I found
Yeah.
it in an op shop, so I
Oh,
will
wow.
revisit it, especially knowing that.
Did,
Because yeah, what did you like about it?
I think for me, I think the director, which Daniel Des Cretin,
Mm.
Destin, whatever. Sorry, I think he
Pretty
directs the
good.
shit out of it. Like this, I really like the. I think I did see it in the cinema, and I really liked the bus scene. I hadn't seen Nobody because I thought Nobody was quite a bit after that actually, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, the bus scene, but there's a scene where he goes when he first goes to Hong Kong, and he's has the fight in the building. And it's very reminiscent of a lot of old Hong Kong martial art films. And there's just this one scene where they're silhouetted against the skyline. And I'm just like, that's Marty, hands in the air, that's absolute cinema. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was beautiful. Like it's just, I think I appreciate the filmmaking side of it, especially because this very opening, the cold open where the two are fighting there and they, Tony Leung and can't remember. It's not Michelle Yeoh, is it? No, it's not Michelle Yeoh.
I'm not sure.
Doesn't
Sorry.
matter. I feel racist for saying that. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, I can't remember.
She's really famous. I'm looking it up. Thanks, listeners. 2021. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on. I don't know. Yeah, it is Michelle Yeoh. Sorry, it
Yeah,
is
okay.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
right.
And yeah, and I think that opening fight is really beautifully shot as well, and plus the story that it tells is kind of like a ballet as well as a fight. And so I appreciate that side of it a lot. And then I think it suckered me in from that opening, and I know the third act climax is a bit how you going, like it's a bit, a bit of a stretch, I think. But I know all that CGI. You're right. Um, but I guess for MCU at the time when Eternals and that was coming around, like it was peak MCU, I think.
My hot take. I actually love Eternals so
Do
much.
you really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that's amazing. Even Kamal Nanjiani, he did a stand-up special this year. Sorry, this year, last year. Um, and he shits all over it himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know the guy you're talking about.
the Indian guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I loved him in the film too because as someone who wants to do YouTube myself, I like that. I like the jokes that
Ah.
he had, and
Oh
for
wow.
Eternals has a sense of cosmic horror to it, even with like
Yeah.
the scale of the
The
it's what are the
like
it's not.
the giants, like the
Yeah, like the planet eaters, they're almost like
yeah.
Galactus or the same species as him, but they're like
Mm.
these giant space gods that go around just devouring planets. And they felt, and even a bit of Pink Floyd in the opening. Like I was a
Yeah.
sucker for the needle drops, and I love the transportation through time. And
I should
but
watch it.
I think this shows the beauty of it. Like I don't want to be someone that is dragging down Shang-Chi because overall I think it's a lot harder to defend a film and say how good it is. It's a lot easier to poke holes in them, and I'm definitely
Definitely.
doing
Yeah.
that myself. Like I can see myself at sometimes I turn into a bit of a cynic when maybe I should just take a step back and enjoy something a little bit more. So
And that's the thing, man. It does become, and this is going to sound a little bit hokey or whatnot, but I mean, as you age, look, you just become a better movie watcher, I think. So you
yeah,
can appreciate, what you kind of develop what you know and what you love, and you become to, I definitely sound like an old man again, but it's just my experience is that I've become better because I kind of understand what I enjoy in a movie now. So when I see it, I'm like, oh, this is great. And I enjoy so many different things about movies. So, you know, it's I'm very pretty positive on most of my letterbox
Yeah.
reviews.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's a good way to be. Like, at least as much of a cynic perhaps I've become, at least my letterboxd it's what do you call it? Your
Your,
histogram. Mine
your
is
bell
leaning
curve.
towards the positive rather than the negative, which I hope it stays in because why are you watching movies if it's leaning towards the negative?
Yeah. While we're talking about letterbox, what's your letterbox handle for everyone listening and me? Because I'll just follow you as well.
Yes. Oh, yes. Likewise, I'd love to follow you. So it's just Hessflix as well,
Hessflix again?
which is yeah, the username I go by on all the main social media platforms. If you're
To
happy for me to plug
yeah,
myself
yeah,
shamelessly.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's so I do movie review content, try and follow a lot of the new releases, as well as diving into a bit of international cinema. Recently, Indian cinema,
Mm,
which is a whole other world that's
yes.
interesting to explore.
Did you just before you go on, did you
Yeah.
check out RRR? I
Yes, yes, yes,
yep,
yes. Unbelievable movie.
yeah, that
Loved it.
movie's
You a
sick. Yeah,
fan?
yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I've seen it twice and I'm dying for a physical release. I heard rumors
Yes.
that we're going to get one, but I don't know because it is a Netflix thing. But
Yeah. Well, you search it on Amazon and it's got a Japanese 4K release. I don't know if
has
that's
it? I will get that. I'll get that. That would sound legitimate, to be honest, because it's Netflix globally. Japan do a little of that because
yeah.
there's no licensing or something. Yeah,
Yeah, because I would love to have that as well. And
yeah,
yeah, but there's always a few ones like that where it's on Amazon where I'm like, is this real or is this just somebody burning the movie to a disc and putting
yeah,
it okay?
yeah. You could definitely get a bootleg from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry. Yeah, you were continue. Yeah, you were.
No, I
You,
appreciate it. Yeah, no, so I do that, and I also do physical media collecting videos primarily in short form at the moment, but I'd like to do a bit more long form with that as well, where I go
mm,
around to op shops, as we discussed before, looking for what sort of finds that I can get and trying to sort of promote it overall because I think it's so important to help I guess grassroots cinema overall and the way we consume films rather than just giving our money to streaming services that want to essentially shut down cinemas and just have us all sitting in our
yeah.
lounge rooms. I think physical media is a good way to take ownership of the movies that you love, support them that way, but also retain a sense of community in how you even watch a film. Like I'll
Mm,
invite someone over, say, pick something out from my
yeah.
stack
Yep.
over here, and you've got an actual much more tangible experience
Yeah.
that I think you just can't get as well just going on a streaming service. And
Absolutely.
and
There's
you'd probably know 10 times more than me about the overalls and all the listeners in terms of the technical reasons as to why it's superior to streaming. But yeah, from what I've
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. I mean, you do get, I think, well, Apple TV, to speak about them again, their quality is, because I own a few movies in iTunes, and the 4K quality from them is that you get from a streamer. It's night and day, but then a disc on top of that is even better. So, yeah, yeah, 100% like physical media for the tactility, if that's a word, just for the tactile nature of
yeah
it. And like you said, I've done the same to my kids or whatnot. Well, I said pick something off the shelf.
yeah
Just grab something and we'll watch it. Trust me, they're all good because that's why they're on the shelf,
yeah
right?
yeah. Being able to
Yeah,
curate
so
it yourself is a really fun aspect to it.
yeah, that's another thing, right? Yeah, to curate a collection. Because let me ask you about that. Because because I know when you do your op shop videos, you put some back. You don't just grab them. You're curating something that you movies you love now, right?
Correct, correct.
Yeah,
Generally, I've started to become a little bit more lax on that, where especially films that I haven't seen, I
that
will
have a
take a punt
reputation.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
even if they potentially don't have a great reputation, it definitely makes me more skeptical to picking them up.
Mm.
But
Yep.
I do try and go, okay, well, if I've even seen this before and I didn't enjoy it, I'm not really gonna pick that up. The only reason I
Yeah.
would is if the completionist in me says, well, this is like the one movie in a franchise where I love the franchise overall. I just don't
Yeah.
like this film.
Do you
Uh,
still grab it or you don't? Or you the
I used
completionist?
to not, but now I do. I've changed
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I do.
Exactly the same as me, man. I used to not, but now I'm like, fucking got you gotta
Yeah.
have it.
It is like a progressive disease collecting physical media where you start
Yeah.
off going, no, 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 I don't need it, and then now
Yep.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
I was doing the same, and I was kind of finding that I was missing out on movies that I wasn't buying because I hadn't seen them, and I thought, if I start buying them on reputation, I'll get to them. Now I have probably, I reckon I'd be close to 1,000 movies that I have not seen in my collection,
Yeah.
which is it's a concern. And I picked up one today purely because I don't know if you've done this, but if I see a movie out and about and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, and I just look at it on IMDb and Letterboxd to see what my friends think of it, if they've seen it, or people I follow, I suppose, and the IMDb rating. And if it's good enough or it has someone in it or directed or written by someone, I'll buy it. And the one today was a movie called A Tale of Two Sisters. It's an Umbrella release that came
Oh,
out.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was directed by a guy called Kim Ji-woon, who's it's a Korean film. But he directed I'm not sure if you watched many Korean films, but he did
Not too many.
sorry, I Saw the Devil and
Heard
A
of them.
Bittersweet Life, which are
Okay.
both outstanding. So I was like,
Yeah.
I've got to get it now. So because I've got two of his others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure if you might develop into that once you've
I'd
got
love
more
to.
shelf space.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's all about just get it once I get that shelf and I can actually order them properly. I think it's only going to grow. I'd love to have the full setup behind me, like multiple
Hmm.
shelves and really fill out a
Yeah.
room and get find myself an old blockbuster sign somewhere and
Yeah. That's what
find
I
it.
want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've talked to mates about when I if I when I get my own place and the kids move out and it's just me, old retiree, I might just rent a storage shed and build a video store in the storage shed, just build
yeah,
shelves in it and just pay for the monthly fee for that and go
yeah,
there once a week and get like weeklies, grab like 10 movies for the week and go back home and make sure I watch them before I take them back.
yeah, yeah. Sounds like a great idea. There's
Yeah, I think it
fun
is.
to have with it.
Odds
Definitely.
are it's going to happen. Last thing I want to talk about because I've added you on Letterboxd. And so just for people listening, it's Hessflix HESSFLIX everywhere. YouTube, Insta. Yep.
Correct. Thank you.
What one of your top fours is La La Land.
Correct. Yes. No,
Same
that.
as me.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Yeah, it's in third spot. Same. Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, it's interesting the way I do order my top four. Because I love the letterbox functionality of putting movies on display there. I order it by the last. Every time I move, I rate a film 5 stars. I reorder it. So I
Ah,
kind of
nice.
remove the most recent one or the one that was there the longest and
Yep.
shuffle them up, almost like you've got them on display on a shelf kind of thing.
That's cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, but no, La La Land's amazing. Like
Mm,
the music, the cinematography, the performances from Emma Stone and Ryan
yeah.
Gosling, and even the overall message of the film too about how sometimes you might be a great perfect fit with somebody, but
Hmm. Hmm.
life circumstances can separate you,
Yep.
or you've got to face that choice between, well, what's purpose in
Purs-
life, what's going to make me the happiest, and
Pursuing your dream or
yeah,
yeah.
it really just tackles all of those ideas.
Yeah.
Damien Chazelle, we could talk for hours about him. I bloody
We
love him.
could. He's got one coming out this year too, or he's filming one
Yes,
at the moment. Yeah.
yes, that's true. I
Um,
can't wait. Can't wait.
he's not made a bad film. He's only done four features, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
he's probably
And
up there as my favorite director.
you a Babylon fan as
Love
well?
it. Love it.
Yeah, that's excellent.
You
I
a
love
fan?
Babylon too. Yeah, I love Babylon. I think it's astounding. And
Yeah.
it's definitely I had to buy the steelbook. Had that one of at the time it was the most expensive one I'd ever brought. I had to import the steelbook from the UK. I was like
Cool.
$60, like $60 for a movie, but now that's like
I'd
look,
love to get my hands on that. Like, I reckon that one
yeah.
definitely be sourcing one of those because, yeah, that's
Mm,
a brilliant movie. Just again, that really captures kind of what we've been talking about today about like a love for cinema and movie making.
yeah. Yeah. So if you watch a lot of old Chazelle, sorry if I'm dragging this out too long, but Chazelle is an old cinema guy. So La La Land actually made me go, oh, I should check out more musicals. So I kind of watched Singing in the Rain, and Singing in the Rain's
Yes.
amazing. And uh,
I've had that exact thought after watching the movie both
yeah,
times I've seen it, and I still haven't got to it. I
yeah,
almost feel
right.
like I have to watch it in a cinema. It often gets played at
Oh,
some
does
of my
it?
local
Ah,
cinemas. Yeah,
that's
in retrospective. So next time
yeah.
that's on, I've got to go and see
You
that.
definitely should, because I'd love to see that in cinema. It'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Babylon's like throws back to the old silent era. It's just yeah. Anyway, I won't drag it out too much. Yeah, that's probably might wrap us up if you want.
Cool. Well, yeah, I just want to thank you again, mate. Like this was a great chat. I've had a
Mm,
great time talking
thanks,
movies
man.
and physical media, and I hope yeah, your listeners appreciate you, mate, because like I think it's a great idea what you some of your plans with having a few people on talking about this kind of thing. And
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks, man.
I'm looking forward to seeing what your how your content continues as well, because I think it's great, and I appreciate everything you're doing as well for the physical media cause, mate.
Yeah,
We love
cheers,
to see
man.
it.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you. It's about time to pursue a passion a bit more. So yeah, thank you. The hard work pays off sometimes. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm not good at taking compliments, but yeah, I appreciate it very much.
Thank you,
We'll
pal.
definitely have you back on, though. I definitely want you back on it for another topic at some point. Yeah. So listeners, you can catch me. I'm KerbRider on Letterboxd, KerbRider underscore screen time on Instagram. That's changed recently, so that's why I'm stuttering over it. And yeah, if you want to check out any more stuff, the KerbRider Screen Time podcast is a member of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network, anywhere you get your podcasts. If you'd like to be on this show or any other show on the network, message Mike on Instagram, SPDM Crew, or even if you want to start your own podcast, he'll manage it for you and upload it wherever you want it as well. So thank you everyone for listening. Until next time, goodbye.